Hi, it's Rick Jones. Welcome back to United Taste of America. Today we find ourselves in Wisconsin. Wisconsin is an English word translated from a French word that was translated from a Native American word about a river that flowed through the center of the state. This was originally explored by the French and later became part of the English Northwest Territory. Then they discovered lead, and that led to miners from Cornwall coming here to mine the lead. And many of them lived in little caves they built in the sides of hills. And people said they lived like badgers, hence the Badger State. In 1848, Wisconsin became our 30th state in the Union. And that opened the doors for immigrants from around the world. First came the Germans and the Scandinavians, later came the Poles, and then much later came the African Americans in the Great Migration to work in the factories and plants along Lake Michigan. But today, Wisconsin is still very much an agricultural state with crops like corn that grows throughout the state. The culinary history of Wisconsin can be summed up in three words: beer, brats, and cheese. The Germans brought the beer and the bratwurst and other smoked meats, while the Scandinavians brought dairy cows to create the cheese industry. In many cases, they combine these foods. You've heard of beer cheese soup or buttered burgers. They're also famous for their fried cheese curds, booyah stew, and a special dessert called a kringle. But what they're really known for is cheese. So let's see how cheese is made here at the Marieke Gouda Farm in Thorp, Wisconsin. Hi, I'm here with Emily Ederer here at Marieke Gouda.
Yep.
And I'd like to hear the story of this place.
So Marieke and Ralph are both from the Netherlands. So they ended up coming up. So Ralph and his brother came up back in 2002, and they started out about 2 miles from here with about 350 head. Within 2 years, that did double. So from there, they started their dairy farming, which dairy farming was a big part of their family back over there in the Netherlands. So they continued doing that. Marieke did not come up until a couple years after that. When Marieke had came up, she thought, what can I do with this farmstead milk? And not only that, but she was missing a piece of that authentic Gouda that she enjoyed as she was home back in the Netherlands. So with that, she ended up making her first batch of Gouda back in December of 2006. With that, she made her first batch of that cumin, which a cumin is like that taco seasoning. She then let that age go through that process, and her friends and her family ended up sampling that, and one of her friends said, let's enter this into a competition. With that, she entered it into the competition, and she brought home an award with that one.
That's amazing. I find it interesting that we're in the cheese state.
Absolutely.
And yet she saw a need for a cheese that was not being made here.
Yep, it was that authentic Gouda, which was a big part of home in the Netherlands.
Now, why did they settle here in Thorp? I mean, why here?
Just a new place and bringing what they had over in the Netherlands to a different country.
Yeah. Now, is it's Holstein cows largely?
Yep. So we have mostly Holstein. We do have some crossbreeds in there, and not only that, but some brown Swiss.
And this is a good area to raise them, right?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Yep. So from there, they then had built this location that we are in right now. This had opened up back in November of 2013. So with that, they have grown on. We have over there, we have the Cafe Dutchess, Marieke cheese, and the Holland's family cheese. And this over here is Pennerman Farms. We are up to 450 cows over here, including those calves. Milking, we are milking 350 of them.
Wow, that's neat.
Yep.
All right, well, let's go see the cow.
Let's go check it out.
So that's a wrap on Wisconsin. Think cheese. We'll see you next week on United Taste of America.